Hi, welcome home. This is the class on fire extinguishers. Means we use the some chemicals or some substances to control the fire or douse the fire. We definitely have seen kind of red colored cylinders and in some places sand bucket we also have seen that kind of things in our surrounding. Why we all kept such thing? Because to control the fire, to control the fire, right? See, very basic information, that is extinguisher means it is a substance or a chemical we use to control the substance or a chemical we use to control the fire. This is very clear to all. Then before going to explain directly which chemicals, what chemicals, why that particular chemicals we use to a particular type of fire, because we don't use always the water to control the fire. Okay, we use different chemicals. Before before explaining that, we should understand why the fire comes. Actually, why the fire comes. There are essential components we need to have the fire. It is not comes out of thin air, right? I can't get a fire now, right? It needs some particular components for some particular conditions to come out as a fire, right? For that, we call fire triangle. See, let's understand what is fire triangle. After that, it is very easy to understand the extinguishers and how they work, so why we use particular chemical, right? It is very interesting. It is very interesting to know the extinguisher after knowing the fire triangle, right? Fire triangle means this is the fire triangle tells these there are three things that are very essential to have a fire. I will tell you what are those three components. One is fuel, another one is temperature, and the final means oxygen. Okay. These three in combination gives the fire. Okay, these three in combination togetherly gives the fire. How? See, fuel means it may be wood, it may be paper, it may be petrol, it may be fuel, it may be any other thing. Means that is the source for that is the substance that burns out when that catches the fire. Okay, this is the very raw material to fuel. The next one is temperature. Temperature is very essential because without optimum temperature, the things can't burn. I will explain this through an example. This is a paper, as you see here. Now, this catches the fire if I lit up this using the matchstick. Okay. If I dip this same paper in the water, then after if I try to burn this, is this paper catches the fire? No, not at all. It catches fire after it becomes dry, right? What I'm trying to say, if this as at a particular temperature, this is the particular temperature now, okay, in a dry condition, it catches fire easily. But if this same paper is in wet condition, is that at that point of time it doesn't catches the fire. Why? Because temperature is not optimum. Just understand here, there is a need of optimum temperature, very minimum temperature to things to catch a fire. These things, wood, paper, petrol, they can't automatically catches the fire, right? They don't catch the fire automatically. They need certain temperature. They need certain temperature to catch the fire. For example, I will tell you one more example. In summer season, the dry wood, okay, the dry wood on this will definitely on the surface of the soil, right? That time in the summer, particularly in the summer, we notice the forest fire. Why? Because that summer helps the this dry wood to reach a certain temperature to catch a fire, right? I hope it is very clear now. Okay, what I am trying to say, the in overall of these examples, there is a minimum temperature, that is ignition temperature. Ignition temperature. Ignition temperature is the minimum low temperature that is very essential for a fuel to catch a fire. Otherwise, if the same wood becomes wet, can that very easily catch the fire? No, not at all, right? Okay. That is about temperature, and the most essential is oxygen. Okay. Oxygen is very essential. Without oxygen, nothing will burn, right? So we can call these three are very important, very essential to have a fire. Without of any one of these, the forest we sorry not forest, we can't have the fire at all. Okay, this is about fire triangle. One more information I would like to mention here only. The function of the extinguisher is to control the fire, right? How they control the fire? They do simple thing. In this fire triangle, if we take up one thing, the forest not a forest, fire automatically controls. Fire automatically douses, right? Because these three are very essential, inevitable to have a fire. Without of any one, I repeat, without of any one of these three, the fire, we can't have the fire, right? The extinguisher do the thing like removing one or two of the elements of this triangle. Then the fire automatically douses. Okay. What usually extinguishers do, they cut off the supply of oxygen, or they decreases the ignition temperature. They decreases the temperature. Okay. They decreases the temperature. They do these two things. Most of the time they do these things because they can't remove the fuel, because fuel itself on the fire. How can they remove, right? It is very difficult. They do cut off. They do this. They do the elimination of these two. If we remove the oxygen, the fire will douses. If we decrease the temperature of the fuel, yeah, for example, on the dry wood, it is currently now on the fire. If you pour the water, the temperature decreases, the wood temperature decreases. What happens then? The ignition temperature is very low. Then can that burn? Can that wet wood burns? No, not at all. Let's discuss about extinguishers. What are extinguishers we use for a different type of fire accidents? Okay, it's very simple, and it is going to be very nice to have that discussion, right? Because it is very logical and rational. That's all. Before that, let's remember the fire triangle. Okay, fire triangle means this is the fire triangle. Fire triangle tells these are the three. There are three elements which are very important to have the fire. One is fuel. This is the substance that fires, and the other one is temperature, and the other one is oxygen. What extinguishers usually do? They eliminate one of the element of this fire triangle to control the fire or to douse the fire. Okay, that is the only thing the extinguishers do. Okay. The first extinguisher I mentioned, it is very common, water. Water, where we all use in this as an extinguisher when the paper has when the paper is on fire, when the wood is on fire, we use that time water as an extinguisher, right? Why? Because how water controls the fire? Because it is by decreasing the temperature. Decreasing temperature. Okay, means it what water did here? What water did here? It eliminated the ignition temperature. That is the minimum temperature required for the fire to come up, right? But what water did here? It decreases the temperature, then automatically the fire will be destroyed, right? But one more thing here, we don't use the water for every type of fire accident. For example, can we use this water in an electric fire? No, not at all. Because water conducts the electricity. We don't use the water. And can we use the water in oil fire accident, when we petrol or diesel got fire? Can we use that time? No. For example, why this is important to know? For example, let's imagine a situation. There is a cargo ship that carrying a huge amount of oil. Ship is on the ocean now, right now. Okay, let's imagine that ship has broken. The ship has sinking now, right? Sinking now. What happens? The water, the oil, the petroleum that is carrying now is spilled in the ocean. What happens? What happens then? Can oil mix with the water? Not at all, because oil is different. Oil has different density. Water has a different density. So what happens then? The petroleum, that is oil, comes to the surface, right? Comes to the surface because oil has a different density. Now it is on the surface of the oceanic water. What happens then? If with a small spark in the ship, that gives the flame to this oil, and the oil is on fire now. Okay. This is the time now. Can we use the water to douse or to control this oil fire accident? No, not at all. Because there is already water under the oil fire, right? Because ocean is a water, right? Why we can't use the water? Because the water has a different density. If at all we use the water to control this fire, what happens? If we pour the water over here, the water get comes under this, because water has more denser than the oil, right? It never going to do the job of extinguisher. Okay, and that time we use the different chemicals. We also use the different chemicals in electric fire, because we can't use the water. Okay, what are all other extinguisher? The next one is, I would like to quote liquid CO2. Okay, CO2, carbon dioxide. Okay. We use this in condition of electric fire accident, and we also use in petrol, diesel, any other oil fire accident. Okay. Why the reason for this? I already told you, because water is not a universal extinguisher, right? How this liquid CO2 does the work of does the work as an extinguisher? It do two things. Two things. One is, it decreases the temperature. It eliminated one component. Then definitely what happens? The fire control. Okay. And it also do one more thing, that is, it cut off the oxygen supply. Means it eliminates the oxygen. For example, this is oil now burning. Under it, water is there. Oceanic water is there. What happens if we pour liquid CO2? What happens then? This liquid CO2 just covers like this. Covers this oil surface, oil medium, like a blanket. It covers fully. What happens then? Can the oxygen, can this oxygen in the atmosphere, can this oxygen reaches this oil medium? Because the carbon dioxide already covered this oil surface, oil medium. Okay, crude oil. we eliminated oxygen also, we decreased temperature also, then the fire will definitely control. Okay. Then the third one is liquid nitrogen also used. Liquid nitrogen. Okay. This extinguisher used in the case of electric fire. It does the same thing. It decreases the temperature. And one more thing. One more extinguisher is foam. Foam. We use the foam. Okay. In the case of oil, petrol or diesel fire accidents. What it will do? Same. It covers this foam covers like this, like a blanket. If oil is here, it covers the oil like this, petrol or diesel like a blanket. It covers. Can the atmospheric oxygen reach here? No. It is the elimination of CO2. How foam controls the fire? It eliminates the oxygen supply. Then by that it controls the fire. Then another one thing, sand. Sand also used. Sand buckets. We in the petrol bunks, we kept the sand in the buckets. Why? It is also used in petrol or diesel fire accidents. How it controls the fire? Same way. If oil spill is here, if we had if we put the sand on this hand, it covers that oil spill. Okay. Can the oxygen reaches here? No. And also one more thing it will do. It absorbs the sand absorbs the water. Sand absorbs the oil, that is petrol or diesel. It is like it is attaching, the sand particle attaches itself with the oil, so it can't burn individually. Sand burns? It is a what? Sand never burns. Okay. This is all about the different fire extinguishers. I can summarize like this. Overall, the more important is fire triangle. The fire triangle tells the three elements that are very essential to have a fire. Okay. What extinguishers do? One more point. What extinguishers do usually? They eliminate one of the element of this fire triangle. By doing so, it controls the fire. We use different agents or a substance as an extinguisher because not a single chemical, not a single substance as used as a universal extinguisher, because particular type requires a different extinguishers. Okay. I hope this is very clear to you, and thank you for watching.